Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana. Close your legs and open your book. Let's get to reading.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content.
It's about to get nasty.
It's all vibes and no facts.
Let's get to spoiling.
Wait, no, these are spoiler-free episodes.
Not the way I do it. Sassy's the right description for him.
Is it?
Don't you think?
I don't think he's doing it intentionally.
Well, I think sometimes he's sassy. You may address me also. I am here.
How are you? I'm doing great, actually. Thanks for asking.
Yes. Well, Bartholomew, this was my favorite line. Well, Bartholomew is many things. She is not particularly useful, I'm afraid to say. I fucking loved it. Oh, I don't feel as though that equine was listening to me. Isn't much for conversation or something. It was amazing.
We're having him sleep in the stables. He's like, why would I be bothered by that?
I'm not sure if you would be bothered by me telling you to sleep in the stables. Why would that bother me? Excellent. May I still have blankets? I thought you didn't need them. You don't get cold. I like to have something to cover my eyes. He's so fucking cool.
He's so cute.
He's by far and away my absolute favorite character we've had in any book ever.
And I've heard really great things about the next book. I've already decided. We're reading One Dark Window next.
Is there also a sassy gargoyle?
There's not a sassy gargoyle, but there's another character in there that a lot of people enjoy.
If this person just writes sassy side characters like this, I will read everything they ever write. This is my favorite character in any book I've ever read.
Really? Yeah.
Even out of my books, I prefer this character. So far, this book is better than Mistborn because of that fucking gargoyle.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely the best thing ever.
I love this book so much, and going through...
I'm not going to say I love the book yet.
6 chapters.
I love the book so far.
6 chapters at a time is painful because I want to binge read it so bad. I wanted to say that as I was re-listening to our chapters this morning, I noticed something when that little inkwell dude, he's like talking to Six and he's saying they're trying to collect all of the stone things and whatnot. And immediately I thought of Rory is like Thanos.
I do really like this. I think Rory is a strange character. I think Rory's actually the king. I could be wrong. What? No?
That's such a good twist and take.
I think he was like the bastard son or something, so it doesn't really count. So he's technically the king's Benji's older brother.
What?
Is my guess. He throws around money like it's nothing, and maybe he's a prince or king of a different land, but with his eyeshadow, they address that constantly. He has earrings. We don't hear of any of the other men having earrings or dark features.
I swear to God, if you were right about this.
There's no way I'm right about this. I'm honestly not even, for the most part, I'm not really even that focused on what the hell is happening in the book. I'm really focused on that gargoyle.
It never even crossed. I'm still stuck on this. It never crossed my mind that Rory would be the king and that the boy is just like, what is it in Star Wars? What's her name?
Princess Leia?
No.
Padme.
Yes, Padme, where they replaced her with one of the other girls. That's exactly what it is. If that ends up being the case, I'm going to be pissed.
I think that Benji is technically the king by birthright. I want to point that out.
And if you end up being right,
the other guy would be like a bastard son if he was. Again, he is culturally something different.
What?
Yeah, I'm here to help. Also, I have a theory about the lady. I typed it all out to you because I was going to text it to you, and then I'm like, nope, that would spoil our conversations.
Can you do it by memory?
Yeah, maybe. What's the lady called?
6.
Nope. The mother.
Abbess.
Yes, the abscess.
No.
That lady. First of all, another point for the gargoyle. He says she's something of a bitch. I fucking love him all the time. I fucking love him. Anyway. Do you think that there's a chance that she is one of these? She's the Moth representation, I think.
Do you get that from her dream where the moth is the 6th omen? Its stone piece is the cathedral?
Yeah, I do.
I think you're right.
And I think that the Moth, they're like, it's life and death. Well, she's killing off these other diviners, and she's bringing them in, all these foundlings, and they're reborn every time they drown, is what I'm guessing. And if they take off their veil, their fucking eyes are gone or something.
I thought that, I don't know if it was you or someone in the book club, somebody said this, and I think it's in the book club, that they think that their eyes are white. And that's why one, I think, who reviewed that she looked at her eyes and that they were just pure white eyes.
You mean like somebody that has been drowned? Like their eyes get real cloudy?
That happens? Wait, what?
My belief is that does happen.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not entirely certain, but usually dead people, like your eyes.
Oh.
That's why we close their eyes, I think, because eyes look gross real fast.
So you think that they're, oh, okay. I was thinking like milky white eyes, like creepy.
That's
like
kind of what I was picturing, is if you had been drowned several times and your eyes have not been exposed to the sun in forever, 10 years, it turns out. They were right near the end of their tenure. They all came in at once.
Yes.
I want to correct myself from last time. I re-listened to those chapters.
All came in at once and they all go out at once.
And they had 48 days or something left.
Oh, good catch. I didn't know how much they had left.
Yeah, I want to say it was 48 days or 64 days. Never mind. Don't take me that seriously.
Do you think that Rory and the inkwell, all those things, are those actual gods? Are they gods? Or do you think it's more there are relics, magical items, and then it's just regular humans that just use them?
I think it's humans that are corrupted by whatever magic that is.
Fascinating. What do you think is the goal and purpose with the king and Rory, Maud, collecting all of them?
The corruption. I think they're trying to eliminate the corruption of all of these idols. So every one of these little townships or hovels or whatever those things are called worship a different idol, whether it's the coin, the inkwell, the candlestick in the library, whatever.
Oh, good call, because at the location when she was talking about when she left the cathedral the first time, she's talking about there's coin. There's so much coin.
Coin is the only god of man.
And that is probably the location that they got the stone coin. Then they go to the next location.
Do you remember what that guy was called?
No.
The humble Barrager.
Good catch.
I don't know if that was actually what he was called. It sounds something like that. And then they get the scribe. So
it's the scribe city that then has the inkwell.
Uh-huh.
And then I bet they're going to be going to like some shore thing for the ore. I don't know what the other ones are.
It would be really funny if they went to some landlocked place. Like, yeah, but we just really like a nautical theme. Everybody there is just spanking each other with oars.
I'm thinking like the 90s bathrooms where it was all seashell themed. It's just some 90s bathroom and the oar above the toilet.
I love that you could have went with a nautical themed restaurant and you were like, there's an oar above the toilet. These people are worshiping this.
What is a nautical themed restaurant? I used to think one was really fancy.
Red Lobster is a nautical themed restaurant. Joe's Crab Shack is a nautical themed restaurant.
There's like some fast food place that I didn't know was fast food because we never had it
Long John
here.
Silver's.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So we went down south and my parents took me there and I was just like, we got to dress nice. Like we're going to a Long John Silver's.
You mean for real?
No, I don't think it's Long John Silver's. It was some other place that was like a Red Lobster, but they had the little all nautical stuff all around it. And it was like blue.
Yeah, Joe's Crab Shack?
I really don't think that's it.
Let me think. There were so many, but I can only think of those two. I would love the idea of you thinking you got to get dressed up for Long John Silver's. That's so fucking funny. Maybe it is one they only have down south, because we had a Long John Silver's here.
I don't know what it is. Doesn't even matter. Okay, so I'm following with that. And do you think that Inkwell Man was actually like hundreds of years old?
Yeah. I think he was pretty much sustained off of the blood from the girls that they are sacrificing after 10 years. I think them soaking in that stream.
What?
Yeah.
You think that the girls were kidnapped and sacrificed?
Not kidnapped necessarily. They lived there. I believe they were sacrificed by that lady. Yes.
What? I thought they were just dead.
She commands the gargoyles to kill Rory and take her to the altar.
What? You're paying attention and I'm not.
I'm trying. So she's like, take her to the altar. And no, and then they fight him and whatever. Gargoyles 0, Rory 3 or something crazy.
What?
But yeah, as the girls go missing, and the way that the guy with the inkwell, he tastes her blood and he gets horny for it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hate
He
you.
wants that blood, girl. And so what I think is happening is they've been drowned so many times in that water, they're given almost nothing else to eat, right? Stale honey bread, water. They live a very, very simple life. But them drowning in that is flavoring their soul or their blood so that these people can partake. Like that lady who keeps the church is like, oh, not to worry. I'll bring you another meal in 10 years. That'll extend your life another this many years.
Really?
There are not always 6 either.
How'd you catch that?
Because when she sees the orphanage, she's like, oh, that's where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or myself could have come from, a place like this. And this is where they get 1 or more girls to be diviners. So I don't think that it's always 6 diviners. I think there is a certain number of them
That are
that
sick.
become this age. They're sickly. They drowned. The ones that manage to survive the drowning just get to be diviners. Some years there's 5. Some years there's 12.
That was my guess, was that they drown a bunch of girls and whoever makes it through and has the dreams are the ones that they keep.
It's like a reverse Salem witch trial scenario. Burn the witch. That witch is fireproof. Worship her? What the fuck? I don't know. That's my guess.
Trying to reel through this. I had no guesses.
You did. You said Thanos.
Well,
And I like where you're at with this. I think you're right. I think they're trying to gather the superpowers. I do not think Rory is there because of gathering the superpowers. I think in some way he was wronged by these omens. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck him. My whole mission is to kill him. That's it. He's not there so that he gains power. He's there for a vendetta of some sort. Nobody passively dislikes something to the degree he actively dislikes this.
yeah, he's very non-religious, but yet religious. It's like he believes in the gods, but not this whole ritual.
He believes in them exactly as much as she does, which is 100%. He knows they're real. He disagrees with the way they use their gift or the way it's lorded over them. And if you're the king, you'd be a little bit bitter because it keeps getting brought up that the king is more or less just a figurehead for people. The omens actually rule over everything.
Wow, it's like I didn't even read my chapters.
I'm starting to wonder.
I was just
Jeez.
kind of there for the vibes, I guess, and the vibes are great. And you're actually like, I caught maybe one thing that's at your level of what you caught.
I feel like I didn't catch anything wild here. What is
Well,
either
you have some
plainly
great
said or it's theory?
Guesses. I have no guesses.
Dude, I have so many
I couldn't even
guesses.
figure out why she's even breaking down the wall when she has her little hammer and chisel. She's like, better go mine the wall some more.
Well,
Like, what's
she's-
that for?
They're carving things into the wall. It's upkeep, maintenance kind of stuff.
Oh my God, I'm dumb. I thought they were just tearing down a wall slowly. I'm like, why?
I don't believe so, no. And she was about to be given a gift by this lady who's like, I always give this to my top diviner. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Because the abscess is obsessed with this lady.
It's not abscess.
It is in my mind. I know it's the abbess,
Yeah.
but abscess is more fun to say.
Okay. She was about to get a gift from her.
Yeah, she was going to give her this special gift. She's like, here, my top diviners give this every time. And Six is like, oh, cool, thank you. You didn't answer my question about the moth. And the abscess is like, just get the fuck out of here. You're great. You'll be fine. You look like you need sleep. You look tired and ugly. Leave. And Six is like, wow, she expertly put me down in a million ways, but didn't care enough to even shoot down my moth nonsense.
And she was really condescending. She's like, you think you're better than everybody else.
Well,
And that is why you
Yes.
think this.
and that's the quote is she's like, she didn't believe my questions about the moth to even be worthy of her condescension, is how it's written. But yeah,
How
no.
interesting.
And I think that whatever she was giving her was either a way to make her more flavorful. Like, I think this lady was going to eat her specifically. Because if they're going to gain power from eating these young people, the most powerful diviner is going to be the most delicious diviner.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just going to go down on her. Just like,
No.
it's Taco Tuesday. Nom, nom, nom.
No. No.
She's like, I'm
you
going to
have
drown myself in that cooch.
No, you have to be wrong on all this. No.
I believe I'm
damn
wrong on
it.
all of it. I promise you I am more than likely wrong on everything. I'm just kind of enjoying...
We've been doing this for a year now, and you are always
Happy
right.
anniversary.
Yes, happy podcast anniversary.
We're not there yet. Are we? When
We're
this releases?
Yeah.
Whoa. 1 year. If you've been here with us for a full year,
Reach
I want
out.
you to, I want you to reach out, but I also want you to really look hard at your life.
No, we'll send you a little something. I don't know what yet.
Also, 12 chapters. Nobody's humped anybody yet. There's a little longing here and there. And I was 1,000% correct on him teasing her.
On what?
When she went to go hump the blonde knight, and then he's like, I hope he showed you the deference you're owed.
Yeah.
It was 100% a joke because she earlier on tells him, show some fucking deference. I'm a diviner.
Oh, I didn't pick
callback.
that up. Oh, that's even funnier. Well, it definitely wasn't.
Being limited to 6 chapters a week, I re-listened to all 12 of these like 2 or 3 times. This is my favorite book we've read yet.
Yeah, and it's a very slow burn at the rate we're going.
Oh, it's perfect. More Gargoyle, please.
Okay, so you answered quite a few of my questions because I was curious about Rory, if he's considered an omen now or if it's something else. Kind of what's going on with the girls.
The humble bragger.
Yeah. What's going on with chiseling the wall? I thought they were just tearing it down.
With a chisel and a hammer.
I didn't know.
That would be, you could be right. Maybe they are slowly demolishing the wall, but it does seem like that would be an easier task to have the gargoyles do.
Did you catch, now that we're a little farther into it, I went and re-listened to the prologue. And the prologue, I think, is the gargoyle telling Six this story that we're currently reading.
Oh, no, I should re-listen to the prologue.
Because it's addressed to Bartholomew. And
Six and him have a child. What's his name again? Rory have a child. They name it Bartholomew. The gargoyle will be the uncle, and he will have named it.
Okay, I don't think it's that one. Usually you have some good guesses, but... So the prologue is someone talking to a Bartholomew. I would assume this is a gargoyle, but with the voice actress's voice, it sounds like...
It's definitely our gargoyle.
It has to be.
It's our bat-like gargoyle.
Yes. Telling a story to someone that doesn't remember it, and they're going to do the best that they can to retell it. And in chapter 7, the gargoyle is asked to tell a story to Six. And the gargoyle says, no, he's not going to do it. But he says, I will tell you the story I know someday, Bartholomew. Would that we were living one of your tales instead. Would that things were different for you and me. So in this moment, she's asking him to tell her a story. He says, no, but I will someday. Can the gargoyle see into the future?
No, I think they've lost their memory. I wonder if it's not the first time they've been through this, because I might add the gargoyle, when he leaves, says he's tired of living in the middle of the story.
Yeah.
So, for what he's saying is not, he's been through the beginning, and they just keep redoing the middle because these girls keep getting replaced.
That makes sense, because, at the beginning it says, and we don't know who, obviously, Bartholomew is. You know the story, Bartholomew, though you do not remember it. I will tell it to you as best I can and promise to be honest in my tale bearing. If I'm not, that's hardly my fault. To tell a story is in some part to tell a lie, isn't it? So that's why I think the prologue is the gargoyle telling this current story that we are doing. And then it was really weird to see him say, I will tell you the story I know someday. It's not in chapter 7 what I just quoted, because it's when they were in like a little place trying to find a place to sleep.
Yeah, that's going to be chapter 9.
It'd be chapter 9 is where it was. That's all I had.
No, I think that's a great catch, honestly. I don't know what to take from it.
Me either.
But I just really like the idea of the gargoyle being involved. Anyway, I can't wait for him to get a name. At some point, they must name him.
I would hope so.
They better. Bat-like gargoyle is too long in the tooth.
Well, maybe she'll name him because she finally accepts that they are actually friends.
Yeah, well, if you're Rory, you're like, oh, he's your pet. She's like, he actually thinks I'm his.
And I do like at one point she admits that she did think she was better than the gargoyle.
Yeah, no, as a character so far, I'm enjoying her even. To a far lesser extent, I enjoy her and Rory and all the other people. For the most part, I really just like the Gargoyle. But he's good enough to carry this book.
I wish that I could write down all of his quotes, but...
And I love the horse. Rory's horse, she cannot be bothered to move.
Yeah.
Just when they finally convince her to move forward, she just kind of lackadaisically moves forward. No rush.
I keep rethinking about what you said earlier.
Oh, don't.
What if he's the king?
Oh, no, he would be not the king of this place. I stand by
a king?
I think so. He's got some weird birthright thing. I'm sure.
He's got to be special in some way.
Maybe he's the son of one of the omens.
Do you think the moth dream was an omen about Rory and their whole journey, or was it an omen about the girls, or do you think that it's actually just nothing? What do you think of the moth dream now?
If the moth symbolizes beginning and end, it would have to do with Rory ending the other omens.
Oh, I was thinking that because the next day the girls started going missing, that it was actually an omen about their ending.
And it could be. I don't know that the dreams are generally focused on the diviner.
I don't know.
Yeah,
because it was Rory's blood, but Rory didn't think that had anything to do with it. She's like, well, if it's important to me, then it's important. And then he seductively gives his blood to her.
Yeah, sexy like. He's like, ooh, warm.
This actually goes into chapter 7. Chapter 7 is the day or morning after the party. She's headed to the cathedral, and the Gargoyle thinks the woman is a bitch. And that was hilarious because even during his little thing, he keeps calling her that.
And he's like, why is that a problem? She's like, it's ignoble of you. And he's like, is it? You are a fucking child. Just moves forward. I love him.
And it's in this chapter we learn there's new foundlings every 10 years. And the Gargoyle said he doesn't want her to leave. And he starts crying and he's upset. And he, I think, says something that she will never leave either.
So she's trying to talk about how she's going to make plans. They're going to discuss their plans because she's sad. He's like, do you want me to tell you a story like you guys tell each other? And she's like, no, what the hell would you know? You've never lived outside of here. And he's like, well, neither of you. And she's like, yeah, but we're going to. And he's like, okay, whatever you say.
Really cute, sad scene. I didn't pick up on it the first time. And then someone in the book club was talking about how, the Gargoyle said the girls also aren't leaving. I'm like, wait, what? I thought this was just a cute scene where the Gargoyle is just being really emotional. And then I came to you and I said, I don't think the girls are alive anymore. And you're like, why would you think they're still alive? And I'm like, what do you mean? Am I the only one who thought they were still alive? I did.
Yeah. The scream suddenly stopped. Adrian's like, she probably just finally, felt like she was heard.
I was with Six. I was just like, Six said that they're missing. They're just missing. They didn't run away and they didn't die.
They're not allowed to leave. When their eyes close, they disappear. This is clearly they're being murdered.
Well, but even with what you were guessing, were the Gargoyles kidnapping them somehow in their sleep?
Well, right up until the point the Gargoyles took them, then they weren't sleeping anymore.
And then are they sacrificed? You think sacrificed?
Yeah.
Now I want to listen to that one scene again.
You'll have time. Because we're only getting to read 6 goddamn chapters a week.
Well, anyways, in chapter 7, they're at the cathedral. Rory shows up and the Gargoyle accidentally calls the Abbess a bitch.
Not accidentally. He does it intentionally.
Well, he's like, oops. Six is doing the divination by herself, and Rory waited for permission to give his blood to her. She's like, what is he doing? And he's just being a gentleman. That's kind of what that whole...
In lieu of him just sticking a bloody hand in her mouth. Yeah, okay.
And then the Gargoyle had to be the one to drown her.
And he was bummed out about it.
He didn't like it. He started like shaking and quivering.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to. And she's like, you fucking do what I tell you to do. Why would you be here if not to drown me? And he's like, oh, Bartholomew.
And I guess they like are really, I didn't think too much of it. I'm like, all right, you're drowning. No, they're like thrashing. And
yes, because their body wants to survive.
I thought it was some type of, I don't even know. Like, I know the word drown was being used this whole time, but...
I want to call it the Abbess Casey Anthony. Just drowning her kids.
That's really fucked up.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I'm just thinking, how strong is this woman? These people are in their 20s. This old lady is so tough. They're fighting back. And she's like, the power of Christ compels you. And just dunking them.
Because I thought it was more symbolic terminology. I don't know, like they are going underwater until they, like, I guess they're like actually drowning experience every single time.
Yeah.
I finally took in a little more there with the thrashing.
Speaking of taking in, these women in water, am I right?
She has an unusual dream. There were no omens. There's a pale moth. Ryan's note is Mothman.
Oh. Fighter of the Butterfly Man. Oh.
There's a statue somewhere of a Mothman. And
we went over this.
People put coins and dollars in his butt crack.
What book were we reading?
Akatar series.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Because we were
the
talking...
Bat Boys, the wings,
we were talking about their wings. And the moth removed her shroud and then put its wings over her eyes. And it's almost like everything's really vibrant and colorful through the moth's wings.
It seems to be benevolent. The moth doesn't seem to be aggressive.
No.
It's here to help. It is her rebirth.
Maybe. Because it knows she's about to live through whatever was going to come. So there's a dream of the 5 humans with a stone object, and the 6th one is with the cathedral as if it was that object. And that's your guess with the abbess. Is the 6th representative the cathedral? All that, yeah. There's a vision of the spring, and I think the moth showed images of torturing all those involved in the divination.
Yeah, showed all of the diviners crying, wailing, being distorted and nasty.
And then she asked the moth to stop, and it did.
Yeah, I think she was showing that those girls are being tortured and that their souls are...
Okay, I was going to say, are they being tortured or are they dead?
Well, they were being tortured and now they are dead.
I thought they were just being... They've closed their eyes and then they were being killed or kidnapped. I don't know what's happening.
They're being taken and murdered.
How are they being taken? She had one, I think that was the last one to be taken, wrapped in her arms. How do they remove one without waking her?
They have magic.
Yeah, it has to be a magical method.
Hey, you know what? Maybe they Tinkerbelled this situation and it was a little moth dust keeps her asleep while they're hauling the other one off, kicking and screaming.
Oh, we have 2 items that cause things to disappear, go invisible. I wonder if the spring water used by the abbess can do that.
I wonder if they're not hitting them over the head with an oar to knock everybody out.
God. Anyways, there's a vision of the spring, and then she wakes up. Rory's gone. Then later, she's going off to the road. She sees him going, and he's like all pissed off and angry, just like looks at her in disgust. And then she comes back, and 4 is missing. At this point, I was in shock. We now have 2 girls missing. And then by the next chapter, they're all gone. I'm like, wow, that was fast.
I feel like it's the 3 Little Pigs kind of story. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Not 3 Little Pigs. It's the piggies like your toes. They're like, this little piggy goes to market. This little piggy gets sacrificed. This little piggy went to talk to the abscess. That little piggy doesn't exist anymore.
Well, even with a little piggy story like that, all of them are going to get murdered.
And they've been piggy dipped in the piggy pond, which is how they're seeing things.
Chapter 8, the abbess assigned a gargoyle to each of the diviners left. I think we have 2 missing. No, this is 4 was the first one to go missing. That's right. Yeah, after she has her dream, 4 is immediately missing.
1 and 5 are the last 2, I believe, to go.
I had just said that 2 went missing. I got my order mixed up. So the abbess assigns a gargoyle to each of the diviners. The feline gargoyle is to go search for number 4.
One gargoyle. Out of how many gargoyles?
23.
So we can account for 4 of them. Where the fuck are the rest of the gargoyles?
I don't know. Doing gargoyle things.
I'm dubious of these gargoyles.
Yeah, it sounds like they all listen to the abbess except for the one.
Do you suppose there's any chance that the girls are sacrificed and then turned into gargoyles?
What the fuck? Ryan, stop it.
I'm just asking.
I like that theory, but I don't want you to be right.
She grinds their bones, turns them to stone. Gargoyle.
Isn't that kind of the thing about gargoyles? Their story is that they were things turned into stone?
Oh, I don't know. I just watched a cartoon in the 90s, and their thing was during the day they were stone, and at nighttime they were lively and superheroes, I think.
I think I'm full of it. I can't find anything about it. Something about water
Maybe
spouts.
they showed their titties.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something gargoyles are known for?
Like the witches.
Naked titties.
So after that, they're all assigned one. I think Six said that they all went to bed and the door was locked, so they couldn't go out and search for 4. So somebody locked them in, and that's unusual. And then she wakes up and 2 is missing. 6 goes and confronts the abbess as she thinks the girls have been taken. She confesses about the dream she had. The abbess calls her out for thinking she's better than the other girls and that she notices she dreams more often than the others, and adamant that the girls left on their own. What did you think of that whole scene?
She was clearly being manipulated. You think you're better than them? You think you're sparing them from this? Because you dream twice as often as the others? Blah, 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 blah. No, it was all just to manipulate her. Get her to calm down and get her to forget about the moth for a minute so that she could send her away to go eat and sleep. That was all.
This is so messed up. Why one by one each night? It's like in 6 days, they're all gone.
Well, wouldn't it be weird if they were all gone all at once? And clearly, some of the gargoyles have some agency. Our bat gargoyle has some agency. He would be questioning what the fuck's going on.
But he kind of makes the comment that we already talked about. He's kind of tired of this cycle and that she's not going to see the other side. So they're all aware of it.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that the bat gargoyle would be like, what the fuck, man? You said 6 would stay with me.
Oh, yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
That 6 would not be leaving.
Yeah, 6 would never leave him.
That's why I had to guess that 6 was going to become the next abbess. But that doesn't make sense. Why would they want to give up their power if she is like the inkwell one?
Unless they can just transfer their mind. Maybe it's a body snatcher scenario.
No, I don't think so. So then she leaves the abbess. So then 3 is gone. And that's when she makes a point of, I need to go find the king. Get help. Yep. And so she's going, and I think at one point she must be talking out loud to herself in the dark because then the gargoyle answers one of her questions.
Okay, so she gets on the other side of the wall. She's in the gumdrop forest. Things are scary. There's scary noises. She's like, don't let your mind run wild. And the gargoyle goes, then what pace should I allow it to run?
That scared the crap out of me. I'm like, wait, what?
And then she's like, what the fuck? How are you here? And he's like, you said you were going to get sick. And then I got sad thinking that you might be sad that you were alone and sick. So I wanted to come support you. And she's like, well, you need to go back because I'm going in. He's like, no, I'm going with you. Like, take me with you. Don't leave me here. It was just so wonderful. This is our little buddy cop thing.
Yeah, she even said, she's like, I don't want to tell him, but it actually is really nice having him here.
Because he's a master of combat and made of rock.
Yeah, because as they get to that, right, there's like some drunkards or something, and they show up to the king little entrance thingy, right?
The gate.
Yeah, and they notice that she's a diviner, and I thought the audiobook version of this was so well done. Because he's looking for his coins and all of a sudden he drops and he's like, oh shit, god damn it. And then that's when I think his arm gets completely busted up by the gargoyle.
He grabs the diviner.
Yeah.
When he grabs 6, the gargoyle just destroys his arm. And then is like, I'm really good at violence. Back the fuck up, homie. And they're like, holy fuck, it's a gargoyle. It was crazy.
Ooh, on that note, how tall are gargoyles? I asked this in the last episode. Do you know the answer?
5 feet tall or something. They're not tall.
There isn't a number given to it. It's in relation to her height.
Shorter than she is.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a little fella, and he gets mistaken for a bird.
Brow to her shoulders. That's how tall he is.
So top of head to chin, roughly, depending on how long her neck is?
I think so. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's short.
He's a little fella. But we don't know. She could be 6'7".
Oh, well, I don't think so. What other questions do we have? Who is picked to receive a divination is the highest bidders. So it's not based off of anything genuine.
What is Rory's full name?
Roderick.
Full name.
Oh, I don't remember.
Roderick Mendoza. Nope. Roderick Mendacious.
There we go. I never did look back on why did the knight take off his helmet? Did the dream water smell pleasant? Obviously not. And she is the daughter of Aisling. That is one of the questions.
Oh, well, she's a daughter of Aisling.
Yes.
Meaning she's a girl that lives at Aisling Cathedral.
If the king lost the game, what did he have to do?
Run naked.
Yep.
And also, there was some other thing put on this. No, the king would have to run naked. Rory would have had to have run naked and got a divination, technically. But I don't remember them ever having him run around naked.
I don't see this question in my first batch, so I think it's in the next batch. So don't answer it. What is Rory's horse's name?
It's not Lucille, if you were thinking Lucille.
What did one say when she saw herself in the mirror?
7, 8, 9.
No. Oh my God.
I know, this joke works. That's why they were afraid.
Here coming up, we're probably going to say it, but just to let you guys enjoy some of the questions. Why did the purple water sprite bite 6? And what do the purple water sprites eat? How many gargoyles are at the Aisling Cathedral? What is the name of the school? The children's school. What is its name?
I love that we're going with school. That's a goddamn orphanage, Adri.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. They're foundlings. They don't have families. They were found places.
Why were there so many of them?
Well, it's that kind of time.
But back to this. Those are you guys' trivia questions. The gargoyle broke a drunk man's arm. Then she gets back, and 5 is now gone. 1 is left.
They never let her have an audience with the king, I might add.
Not yet.
Yeah, she went to have an audience with the king.
Exactly.
King wasn't floating around there. It was a big kerfuffle. That's when the arm got broken. And
I wonder if they were gone and that's when they were getting the coin. And then they came back. They hear about it. Rory goes to go check. He now has the coin. He's like, might as well try out this new bad boy.
Why do you think they went to Aisling Cathedral?
To get the spring water.
What do you think they need it for?
I don't know yet. I'm assuming that's the 6th one.
Seems like they'd be doing things out of order that way.
Whatever's closest. It's close to the castle.
All right, fair.
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
No, hey, you're killing it.
I don't
I'm on board.
Real guesses. So then 1 is left, and she removes her shroud, and she says, what happened to us? And that is where someone in the book club was guessing that it was creepy eyes is her guess. They share stories of their life after the spring as they fall asleep. She, of course, wakes up. 1 is gone. Now they're all gone in like the span of 1 chapter. This was so fast moving. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I love the pacing. We're just taking these girls out left and right. Now what? Rory tackles her in bed. What a wild note. I don't know if that's really how it happened. I think she is like waking up and she's all groggy.
Rory pops in using his magic coin. She gets up. She hears some nonsense happening out of the corner of her eye. What's up? Oh, it's a floating coin object made of stone. And it's oblong. It's not completely circular. Important note. It's flipping through the air. Boom. Who's this humanoid creature? She's like, who are you? What have you done with my girls? He's like, the fuck are you talking about? She's like, you appear out of nowhere, but my girls are all missing? A little fucking suspicious. He's like, you came to the castle and asked to see us.
You're missing a very important detail. For some reason, he tackles her onto the bed and they're having this conversation with him having both her arms pinned up above her head.
Oh, yeah, I missed that whole thing.
So he's now straddling her, knees on either side of her hips.
Dick
One
in the
hand, one hand, I think, next to her face, shoulder area. The other arm is holding up her 2 hands, and they're having this whole conversation.
His penis is so large, he shushes her with it.
It's so large that
both
it
of
got
her
in the
hands.
way while she kneed him.
She need him and it need her back.
I don't know why he tackled her. He knew she was in there.
Well, maybe because she was being violent. She wanted to hit him, and he's like,
Yeah.
I need to restrain her.
Restrain.
Restrain, just the way law enforcement does things. Face down, ass up. That's the way we like to question. I don't know. It's not a perfect system. I'm not a cop. But that's the way it's always been done to me. Only by male officers.
But yeah, everything that you just said, but with that positioning.
Yeah, sexier. Sexier than what I
Much
said.
sexier.
She wants to escape. He's like, or no. He said, I'm getting you out of here so you can go have an audience with the king. She's like, how will we ever get out of here? He's like, bitch, I got in here with magic. We're going to leave that same way.
Well, he tries keeping it a secret, too. He's
They
like
both do
banging on the
secrets.
door, and he's like, how do we get out? She's like, I don't know, maybe use the fucking way you got in.
He's like, no, but it's secret squirrel. You can't know. She's
Close your eyes.
I'm very curious. And he had earlier asked her a question, and she's like, no. And he's like, I'm annoyingly curious. And then she throws it back at him. And pretty soon he's like, close your eyes and hold on, baby girl. I assume it's like a piggyback situation, like in Twilight.
No.
It's piggyback ride time.
There's broken mirror all over the floor. She's barefoot. I kind of forget this quite a bit, that she is barefoot even up until what we ended on.
It is disgusting, and it is my least favorite part of this book. I understand why it's that way, but I feel like I can smell her walking.
Oh.
Just nasty, dirty feet.
Well, he was being considerate of her not being able to walk on the glass. So he grabs her by the waist and he lifts her effortlessly, obviously.
Yeah, all she eats is a little bit of dry bread and water. She weighs 36 pounds, and he throws her in the air and throws the coin and accidentally realizes the coin is heavier than she is because she's just a dainty little lady. Isn't that how these books work? She's the world's tiniest girl filled with helium and rage. And he throws them through the wall. And they disappear through the wall. Magic coin. Ba-boom. They go outside. They're going to escape the wall. I think they just teleport through the wall again. It's kind of what ends up happening because, like, we could climb the wall.
Not yet. Right before that, we have the whole incident with Mother and the gargoyles. So they're going outside. She's like, I do have some items. He's like, thank God. Where are your shoes? And she's like, I need inside of here. She's really trying to get the chisel and hammer.
She did inform him of that.
Yeah.
But he says, why? And she's like, I can't tell you. But they're like my only fucking possessions.
And she even said they're not even really hers, but she's like, I don't think anyone's gonna care.
And even if they did, who cares? You've made the whole place your enemy anyway. Then the abscess is like, put that bitch down. She's mine. And this guy's like, I don't think so. In the Bat Gargoyle, I'm fucking this up because the Bat Gargoyle shows up first.
They're trying to get in.
Where are you going? Don't leave me, you little stooge. And she's like, I have to leave. And he's like, this motherfucker's kidnapping you? I'm going to take him out. So Bat Gargoyle threatens Rory. Rory's like, how am I the asshole? You guys fucked up her face. Look at her. And the Bat Gargoyle's like, oh my God, what happened to your face? My sweet, precious little number 6. And he fucking loves her. And she's like, it was which gargoyle? The Falcon? The Falcon Gargoyle got her.
Serpentine.
Oh, you're right. It's the Snack Gargoyle. Got her. And she's like, it was one of the gargoyles. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Those motherfuckers. He's on board now. He's ready to help her get her stuff. She's like, do you have the keys to get in there? He's like, my burden is always upon me. Busts out his big old key ring. Like the janitor in the...
Yes.
like the Simpsons janitor.
Oh.
He's just got like this huge key ring and all of his keys on it. So he opens the door for her. She gets out her chisel and her hammer. Rory's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. Now the abscess has shown up, and she's got a fleet of gargoyles with her.
Only 3.
Yeah, she's like, well, it's a small fleet.
They're pretty strong, though, yeah.
They're tough. And she's like, hey, kill that motherfucker. We're sacrificing her. After she tried to, like, sweetly bring 6 back, and 6 is like, I'm not falling for your nonsense.
I need to go find my friends. Go find my sisters.
Yeah, she's like, I got shit to do, and you are not being helpful. And the lady's like, fine, fuck it. Kill him. Take her to the... sacrificing chamber. And Rory's like, which one of these motherfuckers hit you?
I was
because I'm so brave.
If you were going to do that.
What?
If you were going to include Rory.
Of course I am. And because that's the only one he's going to make sure is dead. What the fuck difference does it make, Rory? Quit showboating and just kill all 3 of them. Any Hoosier. He blows up one of these gargoyles. It's stone and shit everywhere. It's wild. It's a little smoky. People should not be inhaling it. It's bad news bears. They manage to escape. Other gargoyle is following along with them. And he's like, take me with you. And she's like, I'm a bleeding heart. He's a beggar and I love him. So she's like, fine, whatever. You can come with. They do some more battle shit. And then her boyfriend, Rory, and they're on the horse and they're moving. They're getting out of Dodge. And he's like, what about your gargoyle? And she looks up and he's flying like the mighty albatross above them.
And he's singing a little song. He's like bidding farewell to the night.
He's bidding
something.
welfare.
Yeah, bidding welfare.
Welfare to the whole fucking place instead of saying farewell. He doesn't do well with words, but he's amazing. The gargoyle is the best. Now you tell your part.
I don't have anything. You just went through chapter 9, chapter 10. That's when we...
Did I miss anything important?
I don't think so. I had a quote.
Say it.
The gargoyle, as they were getting ready to leave, he says, I don't want to start over again and again, watching children dream and never see beyond this place.
Yeah, and that's, I think right afterward, he's like, I don't want to be in the middle of the story anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she says, yes, you can come with us. And that's when they go to the horse, Fig, and we learn that Rory is an omen/god. We don't really think that now, but in that moment, that's what she's wondering. Like, if you possess this coin that I have seen in my dreams time and time again, that must be who you are. And so she just stays quiet about it.
What song is on your mind when you picture them leaving?
I don't think of music, but please entertain me.
Oh, it won't be. It's just, I'm on my way.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think of that song with the Lion King as they're walking away.
A weembo whip, a weembo whip.
Yeah.
In the jungle. Oh, they're walking through the trees. I like yours better. It's so much cooler.
You could keep singing. We won't get a copyright if it's you.
What do you mean? It sounds exactly like him.
Sounds identical.
Yeah. The Tolkiens sound just like me. In that order. They sound like me. They've been dead for 25, 30 years.
Well, her and Rory really don't say much. She does a lot of thinking and making assumptions like this. They're on the horse and he's like, what are you thinking about? Or what's going on? And she has the whole answer in her head. And then she's like, but I didn't say anything. So I'd like to hope later in the book they are more open with each other and just kind of saying it. Instead, she does not trust him at all. And
she should not right now.
No, she
5
should.
of her siblings have been taken. The king stole fancy water. And this dude's got a magic coin that allows him to float through walls. Things are a little precarious for her at the moment.
And it's them leaving. We have Gargoyle flying above them. They walk up to a sleeping scribe. Rory took his pen thing and he gave it back after he woke him. Why did he
took
do
his stylus? Well, because it was sitting there and the guy was sleeping. He tried to wake him up and the guy was still sleeping. It's a golden stylus. Thing's made of gold. Or plated at least. It's valuable. I think it's very funny. He just kind of took it off the desk knowing that guy would value it. And the guy, wow, what the fuck? Where did my stylus go? And he's like, oh, fuck, here, use mine.
Oh, I think he actually uses it later to give to that Inkwell dude. Or he gives it to somebody.
The Inkwell dude, no. The Inkwell omen? Maybe they stab him with it.
Oh, maybe. I think the pen came into play later and I already forgot about it. But they go through that and the scribe obviously has not seen any diviners. And I'm like, they're obviously dead. And it's really sweet of her to assume that they would be coming through here, I guess. I don't know.
Rory's also an idiot. Because he's like, oh, you must come with us. Maybe he'll know where your scribes are. Or where your diviners are. I'm like, motherfucker, you know they're dead. Why aren't you trying to help her come to terms with some of this? Or at least present the idea that they are possibly murdered.
Well, isn't it at some point that she realizes that there are no diviners in this world? Older ones in their 50s, 40s have been there living life now. And she just realized like, oh, there is no life outside of being a diviner. And I know that for her, she was kind of taking it as this is who I am and who I'll always be, even out in the world when I was going to be done. But I think she even kind of acknowledged, but didn't think too deeply about it, that there aren't any here.
I think you're right. I think that did happen at some point. I kind of wrote it off.
But then she walks up to a purple water sprite and she reaches her hand in. And I found this scene to be so dumb, but it had a purpose.
Big teeth.
It had a purpose, but she's just like reaching her hand out. She's like, have you seen my diviners? And it just grabs her hand and slowly puts it up to her mouth, or puts it up to her hand to her mouth. And it like takes a chomp out of it. And she's like, ow.
It didn't take a chomp. It tried. Its teeth were too worn down to break skin.
Yeah.
It's very sad. And the scribe comes up and shoos away the monster fish. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, fortunately, our ink is toxic to them. Trivia note. Because what they eat is our parchment.
Yeah, and that's where we're learning that it bit her because it's starving. They are farming all of the parchment. They have no food. And she acknowledged that it wasn't trying to harm her. It was like doing it against its will almost. It's just so desperate.
And Rory threw a bunch of the parchment in there so that fella could eat. And she's like, why did you do that? And he's like, because it's fucking starving. And she's like, you have compassion? He's like, it's a virtue of a knight to be compassionate. And she's like, so is battle. And he's like, yeah, well, I can do both. And he's like, two things can be true at once, diviner. And then later on they talk again and she's like, two things can be true at once.
They have that back and forth where one says something and then they throw it back in each other's face.
Yes. It's a little recursive, but it doesn't matter. It's still fun.
It's flirty.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
I mean, if they were to really be in a relationship and they have this back and forth and they flirt that way, I could see where it would be a problem in a long-term relationship where someone says something, they're like, throwing this back in your face later. I don't think I've ever seen that in a relationship before.
Never seen that at all. Editor's note. Remove all instances of that. Which titties?
But overall, I think the idea of sticking your hand into a swamp where there's a creature there and it's
Why
grabbing
do you envision it as a swamp? It was never described as a swamp. Your mind couldn't have just been a lake. There's a swamp.
Well, if they were just by some desk-like thing with a scribe.
That speaks more to swamp than lake to you?
I don't know.
I believe there are desks, even at the lakes we go to, where we have to pay the people to go into the lake. There's a person in there with a desk and a pen.
I have a really hard time that what I'm imagining in the moment is part of the detail of the book. And if I'm not listening or paying attention, that's just now a part of the book.
Where Shrek lived is a swamp.
Also with this purple sprite, I pictured it like in The Witcher, the creepy little things that came out of the water.
Oh, the wraiths? The water wraiths?
Yeah. They were like nude but covered with seaweed.
Yeah, I don't remember what those things were called.
That's what I pictured.
Oh, they start with an N. Neckins or something like that.
Yes.
And I always thought they were just called the naked monsters.
That's what I pictured these being. And when I'm picturing that's really scary and creepy. Why would you go up to it? Oh. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, silly girl, why would you do that? Of course it's going to bite you. I
imagine it like a seal, like a little purple seal, because it's really adorable, but they have really sharp teeth. And it was like this obviously didn't have super sharp teeth, but it's a little fella. Is it?
Eats parchment.
Well, he eats that plant, but he also clearly gets hungry enough to try to eat people.
Yeah, I bet it is a cute creature.
Do you know
I'm
ferrets eat in the wild?
No.
Do you believe them to be herbivores or omnivores or carnivores?
I've never thought of a ferret's diet until right now. They have sharp teeth. Their eyes are forward. I'm assuming they eat mice.
And take a guess. There's a specific answer I'm looking for. I'll give you a hint. You are correct. Carnivore. The bugs, mice, keep making this larger.
Turtles?
I don't think turtles are often in the holes there. Think of their body shape and what they may be good at getting into.
What?
Cuter. Fluffier.
Cats?
They could probably eat a cat.
What?
But I don't think there's a lot of like domestic
What are you thinking
cats.
of?
It's rabbits.
They can eat a rabbit?
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. I don't think they're eating like bones and stuff. They're not a snake. They're not swallowing a whole. They're tearing that little bigger up. Yeah, they eat rabbits.
I wonder if this little sprite is...
A water ferret?
Yeah, like a cute thing. A cute one.
Well, that's what a seal is.
Well, if it's not a carnivore and it eats parchment, that would most likely mean its eyes are kind of to the side, like almost like a little pug.
Were they herbivore? Were they pug? Yeah, classic herbivores.
Pug eyes.
We can come up with a single herbivore.
Well, I thought of rabbits, but I think rabbits are too fluffy, so it's not that one. A deer. I wonder if it's like a swampy deer. Nope, not a swamp.
Deer with gills. Little flippers for hooves.
Now we're back to a seal.
I really want it to be a seal, and you really don't. It's like a water ferret. But whatever it is, it's small, right?
I don't know how big it is. I thought it was huge. I thought it was her size. I'm dumb.
No. I imagined it being large, like a dog sized.
Well, back to when listening to the book, and I listened to my chapters twice, so each time I'm picturing the creepy, scary, humanoid, swampy,
naked monster.
Naked monsters, and that it bit her. I'm like, obviously it would. Like, no.
She drinks people's blood. Why can't this thing do a little bit of it? Weird.
Well, I need to rethink about what that creature looks like.
We learned that Rory's a softie. He loves creatures. He tries to murder gargoyles. It doesn't go well for him, I might add. He threw a knife at our gargoyle.
Oh,
I forgot to mention that earlier. And the gargoyle's like, the fuck? Did he just try to smite me with a knife? I'm made of rock, dumbass.
Oh, also in this moment, the scribe compared him to a fowl in the sky, and that pissed him off. That is a huge insult.
Well, and she clarified it. He's like, why did he say fowl? Like, something's wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, he meant bird. He's like, that's even worse. Why do you think I'm bird? He's incredible. Anyway, Rory's like, don't worry for it. He just throws more gold at the guy for the parchment.
Well, they get through that scene. Then they make it to the city. She sees like a parchment factory. There's paper everywhere. And Rory placed the gold stylus on a windowsill. Oh, there we go. Left it there. Then the inkwell dude finds it later, and they followed him.
Wasn't Rory's stylus. They had already found the guy.
You think so? Then why would...
They left something for him, which was a very attractive thing to this omen, who I guess goes out and collects goods.
That's why I thought the golden stylus.
Well, I would have thought so too if it wasn't for he runs into these people almost immediately afterward, right? Because he tries to pickpocket Moth.
Yes. They go by a school for foundlings where diviners are chosen, and a man trips over her, calls her a bitch. Rory punches him. So heroic. Rory tries to pickpocket Moth, and the king all show up. And
they're like, don't worry, we found our guy. Maud's like, everybody shut the fuck up. This girl can hear what we're saying. And Rory's like, I think she's cool. And Maud's like, you don't just get to unilaterally decide that. Like, no, that's not how this works. She's still one of Ashley's girls. She's not one of us. And she doesn't recognize the king at first. The king's like, Six, good to see you.
And then Gargoyle is like, I'm here too.
He's like, you may greet me as well. I fucking love it. Anyway, they're like, we found our guy. He's like, wow, how'd you find him? They're like, well, we baited him and he got it. He got our stuff.
Yeah, you're right. That is that conversation. So I don't know what the whole point of the golden stylus was setting on the windowsill.
Maybe somebody poor will find it and be like, motherfucker, this thing's made of gold.
Nice.
You need to sell this.
And then they invite her to go with them on this little adventure. And if she does that, the king will meet with her.
Yes.
And I think that's about to happen in the next chapter that we ended on. So they assign the gargoyle to Fig to keep Fig company.
Fig is the name of the horse. Another question.
And Rory says that it's going to be very animated where they're going. Do you remember what the gargoyle said?
No.
The gargoyle hears Rory say it's going to be very animated where we're going. He's like, oh, will there be kissing?
No, I forgot about that. I fucking love the gargoyle.
No, there won't be. And it's like this awkward. It was like, well, they...
My favorite bit in this too is Rory almost immediately understands how to deal with the gargoyle though. When he's like, I'm going to go in with you guys. And they're like, no, you can't go. He's like, no, I need to go. I'm Six's protector. Like, I'm here to be with her and make sure she's safe. And Rory's like, hey man, I need you to keep Fig company. She gets pretty lonely.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, you need me for the secret mission. I can handle it. Don't worry. And I just love that the gargoyle is he's not a pain in the ass. He's so perfect. And then Rory's just accepting of him right away. That's the thing I like about Rory so far. I could give a shit about his eyeliner and earrings. He's treating my gargoyle boy well. And we need more of that. We need everybody to be nice to the gargoyle.
I think it's great. And Gargoyle goes to take care of Fig in the stables. She's cute.
What does he tell Fig?
I don't remember.
This is important. I think he said it earlier. Never believe anything written in rhyme. It's always lies.
He says that to the horse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cute.
But he's just sharing knowledge with Fig while they're walking.
Right, because he's trying to make Fig feel better.
Well, I think this was before then. This is when he's just talking with Fig as they're moving.
Well, it's really cute. And then Rory says it again later. When we get the stupidest, upsetting poem I've ever heard.
It wasn't funny, but it cracked me up because I'm like, oh, it's so self-aware of the fact that this book is not written for a certain group of people. Because there is a whole mess of people on Facebook, old dudes that would cackle at that. Oh, his cock's a good gift. He's gonna fuck her. Good job, he's the king.
Well, I took it as a dig that is what men would think.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It is a dig. I don't think it's a dig at all men. It's a dig at the men that would find that funny.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this book was written for old Facebook men?
No. This book is written so intentionally for that demographic to have found that funny and that to be the joke.
I hate my wife type of comedy, making fun of that.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, you took us into chapter 11, which is when they go into this. Oh my gosh. In the last series, I was grouping our chapters up so you couldn't do it.
Oh, you can do it 11, 13, 7.
So they go into this room. There's lots of books. And then that's when we meet the Inkwell Omen dude. And his eyes are made of stone. And that's when I kind of thought that they really were gods. But yet if you can beat them at their craft, do you become the god? Or is it just there are these items that, like you were kind of saying earlier, that are very special and the keeper of them?
Well, that's what they're challenging him to. They're going to challenge them at their craft in order to secure their item and take up the mantle.
And how egotistical is it for this guy to challenge 3 of them? Because really, I think it should be a 1v1 on it, but he didn't seem bothered. He's like, sure, I'm so much better than all of you. I can defeat all 3 of you, minds combined.
Yeah, well, he's the collector of all knowledge.
Supposedly.
But he doesn't know Six's name.
That's the human part that I thought he isn't godly. He's just been living for a long time. He knows a lot of things, but he's still just some human.
This reminded me of a theory that I had.
Which was?
Six has been at Ashland Cathedral for a very long time.
I think so too.
I think she's super old. I think she's been there for maybe ever. I think there are other diviners and stuff that come in, they like wipe her mind, and she's still there doing it. Just getting seasoned up. Because when Rory asks about her age, the Gargoyle says, 6 is very, very old.
Bartholomew.
Sorry, yeah. He says Bartholomew is very, very old, but also quite young, but also pretty fucking old.
Yeah.
He's real back and forth.
Yeah. And then there was just this small detail where they tell her, we're going to challenge him at his craft. Do you know what that is? And she's like, it seems familiar, but I don't remember. I'm like, what do you mean you don't remember? So she's done 1 drowning since then. And I wonder if it does remove some of her memories.
It could be.
I don't know.
I'm just guessing. Yeah.
Yeah. I was very confused when the Gargoyle answered that question that Bartholomew is very old and very young, but also old. But anyways, back to this. She's in complete denial of who she's looking at.
Not just a river in Egypt.
Oh my God. She can't believe this.
It's not butter. I'm almost done. There's a jingle for almost anything.
And it is this, I'm curious to see how this gets written, of her life kind of falling apart. And it's not really falling apart. It's like your beliefs. Everything you've been taught and told is now kind of falling apart.
The deconstruction makes us think of REM.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't understand.
Losing My Religion, the song.
Oh, I don't know this song. But I don't think that she's necessarily losing her faith in what it is. I think she still believes in the dreams and what they do and their tellings and all of that stuff. I think it was just more, oh, gods are walking among us or something like that.
Yeah, that these things they're idolizing aren't actually gods.
Oh, I know this song. I forgot all about that song. I don't think it really fits in this scenario, but...
No, not even a little bit. It just made me think of that when you were saying deconstruction, and then I was like, losing my religion, REM.
You can just be a little DJ in the background.
Be a little DJ.
No, what are you talking? No! It took me way too long to pick up on what you were saying. Anyways, the creepy dude, not just you, creepy dude can transport the ink through the coin, like the coin. And he grabs Six as a hostage and they teleport up like
to her bookshelf.
Yes, somewhere up there. And he has stone eyes. Rory is very protective of her because he's trying to get her back down. And then we begin the challenge. What does the king give his bride?
A cock will do. I thought it was going to be a chicken joke. A cockle-doodle-doo.
No. I was very disturbed
You get it?
by that.
It's a penis with a drawing on it. It's a cock-a-doodle-doo.
No.
No. Come on. A penis with a haircut. He's got a mullet.
This is the second
tattoo.
time we've talked about the dapper penises.
How is this only the second time? This should come up far more often. Little penis tuxedo.
Yep.
For the uncut ones, they look like they're robbing the place. Get a hood on.
I'm trying to talk about these questions.
Oh, yeah, sorry. First one, what does the king give his new bride? They guess some random bullshit.
Like actual items, like land.
A song.
Shit.
Yeah.
Which I think was a valid answer.
Good.
What is the name of the first diviner?
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Except for that guy. And he's dead now, so now nobody knows.
Describe a weapon. Ends up describing two. I think that's kind of cheating. And then the question, what is Six's name? What is Six's name?
Catherine Zeta-Jones. It starts with a C.
Starts with an S.
Well, depending on how you spell it.
Her name is Sybil.
Sybil Mockingjay. Sybil Mirandadell.
She doesn't have a last name. She has no mother.
No, she does. She had a last name.
Oh, really?
Damn it. Let me find this. You keep going. I'm going to find this.
Either way, he didn't know her name, and that was still part of the human aspect. But that's really fascinating. No, he can't know the Abbess's name and not Sybil's if she is older than him. That was going to be my next guess. But then as they're up there, he puts her hair in his mouth.
Yeah, he's a creep. He wants to eat her up.
So gross.
He's pretty gross.
And then a fight broke out. And then I think the ink burns everything. So it has its own like fighting power. And then the creepy dude is licking up her blood. And that falls into your theory that that is part of his. Oh my God, that makes sense. If he's lapping up her blood and licking it up as he's dying, he's like, I need her blood.
Yeah, that's kind of where that whole thing came from for me.
I thought he was just a creep.
Well, it could be both. Two things can be true at once.
Shut the hell up.
I was proud of that one.
You're not going to find her last name.
I will. I need to find Sybil. It's in here. My name was Sybil.
I thought she just said her first name because it's all she could barely remember. Then Rory blows the dude up by throwing the coin out.
Rory blows the dude. That'll get him where he needs to go.
Into
You got ink all over my mouth. Gross. He got me again. Where'd he go? He just disappeared. Where did the ink go? Don't worry about it as Rory swallows.
Right.
Now I've got your ink. You're the master of nothing. Wipe a little off my chin. His eyeliner's running just a little.
He's just crying.
He didn't choke, though. He's a consummate professional. Is that all the cock you've got?
I hope you showed him deference.
My liege.
No, stop. You keep doing that. In this episode and last one, there's going to be like 10 of these blowjob jokes.
There was 47 blowjobs in the last book. This is the first blowjob of the book.
That's not even a blowjob.
That's not what you said.
You blew up the guy into thousands of pieces. And then she talks to Rory. I think something about finally like, who are you since you're collecting these items? And he says, I'm not one of your precious gods, diviner. I'm the one who's killing them.
Bum, bum.
Law and Order.
What I love is if you take it as he blew the guy first and then the guy explodes in his mouth. Okay.
Damn it.
And then she's like, who are you? He's like, I'm the one blowing up gods. It's so funny. I'm not one of your precious gods. I'm the one killing them. They really lose their head. And it's like, there are sunglasses on. He walks away. A single tear is rolling down his face.
His eyeliner's just smudging.
Yeah, well, he's experiencing love and loss.
Chapter 12.
Reorganization.
She and the gargoyle end up running away.
Yeah, because she just watched him blow that guy. She's like, I wanted him to go down on me, and now I think I may explode.
And the gargoyle feels bad for horses after they die.
Well, so the gargoyle's like, it doesn't excuse their treatment of these horses post-mortem. And she's like, the fuck are you talking about? Are you talking about beating a dead horse? He's like, yeah. She's like, that's just a phrase. Like, that's a cruel phrase.
And then they find a place to sleep. And the gargoyle stole food for it the next morning. The next morning is like, do you find this to be, how does he word it? Ignoble. Ignoble. There we go. Do you find my behavior ignoble? And she just keeps it to herself because she's like, I'm actually really fucking hungry and he might throw it out that window if I tell him I do.
She's like, no, actually what you're doing is absolutely perfect. Then the knights come up. And they're like, excuse me, you're the diviner lady, number 6.
What? You skipped so much.
Oh, never mind. I was just getting back to the part where the gargoyles there next. He's my favorite.
Her and the gargoyle, they go out and that's when they find the school. And then she talks to like the old lady and she's like, oh, are you here to check in on, I don't know, the girls?
Yeah.
Who even knows? I don't, obviously.
She's like, we got a good crop of them. These will surely feed these omens.
I wish she said some more, but she's like, have you seen essentially my sister? And she's like, no, it's weird enough that I'm seeing you. She's like, can you point me in the other direction? I'm going to be asking.
The other direction. It's like, well, the road goes that way and you came from this way. Keep going that way.
To the other little foster home buildings or
That's
whatever.
not foster home.
Oh, okay, it's worse.
It's an orphanage.
Yeah.
School for the unfortunate girls.
Yeah, the foundlings. And yeah, they arrived at Pupil House number 3, a school for foundlings. That's what the first place was named.
Pupil house?
Pupil.
Oh, as in student. Which makes sense, because Gargoyle says, I've always thought of our relationship as student-pupil.
Oh, that's cute.
He's like, you're not a very good pupil. Or, yeah. I said student-pupil earlier. I meant teacher-pupil. Teacher-pupil. Whatever.
The abbess chooses the foundlings from there, and she realizes she will always be a diviner and never treated as a woman, and that the abbess will never be a mother. And the gargoyle says, if you only ever look up at something, can you ever see it clearly? Which was really insightful of him.
He has those moments.
He does.
And then he's talking about beating dead horses.
But so she tries the next place and the next place, and she's asking him, have you seen any of my sisters? And then as they're walking down the street, she sees a group of little girls, and 3 men are stalking them. And so she's calling him out on it. She trips one of them. He calls her a bitch, I think. And she takes her hammer, and I think she smacks him right in the face and breaks his face.
Fuck yeah. And the gargoyle beats some ass.
Yep.
Then those guys peel out of there and they call the guards.
Yes, that's
then
when the
guards
knights
show
get involved.
up. Yeah, the guards show up and they're like, hey, you are wanted. She's like, not me. And not over some petty theft? Surely it'll all be fine. And the gargoyle's like, not only am I a thief, I'm also an assailant. Like, I am actually a prolific criminal. She's like, shut the fuck up, man.
Even when he's talking about stealing the food earlier, he's like, I only got caught like 3 times.
I'm really good at this. I only got caught 3 times. He's the best character. I want a whole fucking book of just his point of view.
So then they get taken to the knights and whatnot. And when she first arrives, all the men are looking at, men and women. What we know of this world, men and women are serving as knights.
Yes.
Equally. So yes, men and women, they're all looking at her and the gargoyle and whatnot. She's bleeding. And then out of nowhere, they all turn and avert their eyes.
Including the one that she was gonna fuck.
Oh yeah, him.
Dude, and then Rory comes in. And his presence is just so much for these people to handle. She knows it's him because of the eyeliner and the earrings. She keeps identifying him by those features.
I never caught this once. I just zoned it out clearly. But he sees her injured. He's like, "Are you okay?" And the gargoyle answers, "I too am unharmed, right as raindrops."
He's so amazing.
Just like, I'm picturing him being pretty short. And
people are just looking over him all the time.
And they're just having this one-on-one conversation. And all of a sudden, everyone has to like turn their heads and look the other way.
Jesus Christ. I forgot you were there. Yeah, Gargoyle is the very best part. Basically, they're like, don't worry about it. Those guys look worse than we do. She fucking smoked him with a hammer. They're already in trouble.
And at some point, they're talking about how Rory has disdain for everybody. And he says, "I have disdain, but none for you." And this was a great moment.
I think it's
not
disdain
for
for the religion, not everybody.
I think it probably is.
I don't think he hates everybody. He seems really close to Maud and the king. Like, he seems to have friends.
Yes, Maud shows up, and they're going to go get 6 shoes and a shower. So her and Maud are even
under the cover
friends.
of shoes. Maud's like, "You need a fucking bath. I smelled you coming in." And she's like, "I don't have shoes." She's like, "Shut the fuck up. I'll get you shoes, but this is just a cover so we can bathe your ass. Scrub your ass before you go see the king." It was wonderful. Maud seems like a real homie. And this is where their relationship is going to blossom.
I think
because
so.
This girl is going to have no idea how to scrub certain areas. And Maud's going to be like, "I got you. We get this bubbly." And
This
then
is
she's
their love story blossoming, and there's just Rory sad crying in the corner.
Well, it's not tears that are making him salty, baby. He rinsed his mouth out from all the ink he got earlier, and now he's ready. He's just watching him. In a little peep corner, he's like, "Oh, yeah, Maud, scrub her up."
No,
and Maud's scrubbing her down.
Rory.
Why? Rory's
I like
fine.
Rory
I
a
do
lot.
too. I think Rory's great. But wouldn't it be more fun if it was Maud? Maud's like, "Yeah, he's got a bunch of machismo stuff. He's white knighting for you, and that's great. But I know my way around the Lady Biscuit." And our young lady has been pleased once.
Has she?
Yeah, she came, but it wasn't like she wasn't in love.
I didn't think that she's been pleased at all.
She said one of the 3 definitely knew what he was doing, but she still didn't get that feeling of love and then loss when it was over. So I think she came, but I think it was more of a biological response. Like, the men knew what was up. Maud, however, could light her heart fire. Maud's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it, baby."
I don't think that's the way it's going to go. Do you have any other theories?
Yeah, I think she gets scrubbed up to go see the king, and Rory says something sweet, but he's a little bit of an asshole about it because he's not overly into her yet, or he's fighting his urges. And then he helps her out, and on their mission to find her diviners, she just kind of ends up trailing along with them to collect the rest of the omens. Meanwhile, our Gargoyle is the best character of this whole book, and he continues doing badass things every time we turn around. He's amazing. Whole theory, 2nd book is just from the Gargoyle's perspective, and it becomes the best-selling book ever written, and we buy 12 copies.
This is the first time you told me we're going and buying a book.
Yeah. We still don't own the Book of Azrael.
No, I
like the Book of Azrael, and I like Dawn of the Cursed Queen.
Yeah, you do? That was number 3.
Oh, never mind. I like Throne of Broken Gods.
There you go.
Dawn of the Cursed Queen I didn't like.
I don't have any theories. I don't have any questions. My last one, I think you answered, which was, why are they mining the wall? I didn't understand what that was about.
There's gold in them hills.
I know.
She also stopped and talked to a guy that did like stonemason work. He had little statues and things. And she's like, "Oh, is this a good way to make a living?" I think we might have addressed this because this was in chapter 6, I believe.
That would make sense because I told you that her idea after leaving Ashland Cathedral was to go do stonework.
Yeah, and the guy's like, "No, my business is failing. It's terrible."
Oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah, he's like, "Business is awful. My business is failing. But if I could get a diviner to endorse what I'm doing."
Oh, that's right. I do remember this.
And then Rory's like, "You didn't have any agreement. Fuck you. Should we take his hands?" That's what that whole thing was.
Oh, that's right. That was in the first bit. So we've dealt with the coin, the inkwell, most likely the cathedral with the spring water. Now,
then finish that. We're going back. The Abbess is still alive.
Yeah. The ore, a chime, and a loom stone.
Can I call her Casey Abbess?
No.
Okay.
But it does take a nasty woman to be able to do the work she does.
I know. I can think of one.
Stop.
This woman waited until they were grown. Now I'm done.
So messed up. All right. I think we're ready to go on to the next 6. And
I'm ready.
You have to wait a week.
You're an asshole. I love you.
I love you. You're my bestie.
You're my bestie. Open your legs and close your books. It's over.
No.
Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
Follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
drop it on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a 2-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No!
Oh.
Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I
don't
won't say
want that,
love
dude.
you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
Love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye. No, we're a smutty podcast. The books, you're right. They may or may not be smutty. We read 3 Little Pigs, and one of them gets fucked. Get ready. It's not the one you think. Which one do you think is the sluttiest pig?
None of them.
I think it's the one in the brick house.
Oh, I was thinking the one with the hay.
I thought you would, and that's how I knew it. Because the twigs aren't sexy enough, the hay one's like, oh, please don't blow my house over. Yeah, no. That's sad that you would think that. It's the one in the brick house, because it's the one you wouldn't think.
This is the one that's getting paid and has money for bricks.
Whoa. First of all, it's a slutty pig, not a whore pig. This pig does it for the love of the game.